Hey guys, this is SoundJack from Nerdy Geek Talk, the source for all your nerdy geeky needs, here with episode 5 of Nerdy Geek Talk Reviews. And today's episode, we will be talking about the War for Cybertron Siege Wave 1 Deluxe Class figures. Yes indeed. Joining me on this episode, we have Eric. How are you?
Hi, my Skype just crashed.
Your Skype just crashed.
Yeah, I literally just came back right whenever you said, "How are you?"
Oh, wow, that's funny because you never disappeared from my screen.
Oh, that's interesting. But
Yeah.
I'm doing good.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Miguel, how are you doing?
Doing fine. Skype was freaking out for a second.
Oh, okay.
Skype's cursed tonight.
Yes, seems like it. Well, hopefully it remains stable enough for us to finish recording this. But anywho, like I said, we are doing Siege Wave 1 Deluxes. Look at us. We're actually topical.
Woo! We're not reviewing something that's been out for a long time.
Well, I mean, it's still been out for a long time, but not that long of a time.
It's not a long time. They've been out for like
a month.
A couple of weeks. Yeah.
Some people have had them for a month. Not most people, but yeah.
It was at least halfway. I don't think it's been a full month yet. I think it was like November 15th.
So very, very close. Very.
So hence my couple of weeks is still, well, actually several weeks, but
fair.
I want to be technical.
But yeah, let's just hop into it, shall we? All right.
I'm down.
Yeah. So, since this line has a numbering system, we're just going to go by the numbering system that they give us. Just of note, all numbers are indicated by WFC-7, then the number. So, this case...
7, you mean S?
S, yeah. Yeah, I was looking at sideswipes. S, so War for Cybertron, Siege, number whatever. And I presume that's going to be consistent throughout all 3 chapters of the War for Cybertron trilogy, except with just the different 4th letter. But anywho, War for Cybertron WFC-S7 is Sideswipe. He turns into a Cybertronian car, and as far as accessories go, he comes with 2 weapons. The shortened names are the Proton Launcher and the Gyro Blaster that do combine to form a larger weapon. I am not going over all of the weapon names because they are very long and very ridiculous. You want to look them up, either look on TFWiki or get the figure and read the instruction pamphlet for the full names for these, because especially for Cog, I do not want to read all of Cog's weapons because he has so many weapons. But anywho, getting into Sideswipe, Eric, why don't you start us off with some positives on Sideswipe?
So positives, I would have to say, this is a really small one, but I just want to say it because I don't think anyone else will. The range of articulation in his head is really, really good. Like, far better than most deluxe toys are nowadays. At least I think so. He gets a decent amount of tilting and especially, like, looking up. Just more than the average ball-jointed head of a deluxe does nowadays. It's not, like, crazy articulated, but it's certainly a little more expressive than most are. So I just wanted to point that out because it's something I noticed. It's a small detail.
Oh, yeah.
Other positives, I would have to say the feel overall, but that's not unique to him. That's a pretty common thing just throughout all 4 of these. The feel of a toy itself, the materials, just the build. As someone who doesn't mind hollow toys as much as a lot of people do, I do think it is nice that this seems a lot less hollow. And then just overall, the actual transformation and assault mode are pretty decent.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I did actually have a note on the articulation, and one of the things I would have pointed out would be that head articulation. Like, again, not the most fantastic, but if he did have a backpack, he would have had at least a little bit of head looking up for cool flying poses. And yeah, for sure. And for the transformation specifically, I do want to say, like, it is sort of relatively straightforward for how you get from one to the other, but there are certain bits in there that I'm like, ooh, that's neat. That's nice, especially like with the legs and how they specifically bend to be either in robot configuration or vehicle configuration. They are very good, and the paint on them is quite well. Even the battle damage hasn't been a strong issue with me.
Nope, not on any of the deluxes for me.
Not on any of the deluxes. Granted, Sideswipe, it's just a little bit of gunmetal dry brushing on
the shins and waist, not the crotch.
Yeah,
the waist.
Just the waist bit. So it's not, again, not atrocious. The worst it looks is the fact that the crotch doesn't have it while the waist does, I'd say. Yeah. But
it's not that bad.
It's not that bad, but that's the worst with air quotes. But everything else is clean, everything else is nice, which is what I'm fine with, because this is definitely my generation's shelf sideswipe. Now.
Oh, you said articulation. We left out ankle tilt.
Oh yes, the ankle tilt. The ankle tilt, which all of them have. All four deluxes have ankle tilt. Also, while we are praising the newness of this line, we should also point out there are no joints beyond head joints that utilize ball joints.
Yes, they're all having universal joints now, which makes me nervous in the long run, because that's not nearly as easy to tighten up as ball joints are.
However, at the moment,
on these are good.
Yeah. However, at the present time, every one of them is very nice and tight, out of the packaging, and they all feel really good. But yeah, Sideswipe, definitely great. The only thing, and this is probably going to be a thing that'll come up a little bit when I'm talking, is that they are so good the way they are that then I find other minor things I were like, oh, they could have been even better. Like Sideswipe's got an ankle tilt for sure, but like, what if he had an ankle pivot? Like he could have a toe bend. What if he had a toe bend?
That's true.
They could have been better, but he didn't need it. But it's still very nice. He's got the ankle tilt. I also think Sideswipe more so deserves the toe bend because, again, jetpack. Though granted, Skytread actually has a flying half and does have a toe bend, though that is also partially due to his transformation. But I'm getting off track here. But yes, Sideswipe is good. Miguel, what do you have to say positively about him?
One thing I definitely just like is his overall silhouette and just like the design, or mainly the design itself is something that I really enjoyed. I recently handled the universe mold again, and it was just a thing where it overall was very, part of this due to age, but just very flimsy and finicky. Mm-hmm. Whereas this one's very solid in both the construction, but also just how it looks, and it's sort of a miniaturized version, a bite-sized, if you will, version of the masterpiece, which I really enjoy.
Yeah. I've been hearing that comment a bunch that, like, if you can't afford Masterpiece, this Sideswipe is basically 75% of Masterpieces. I think something I saw on Twitter.
Yeah, Sideswipe, I would say that it's inspired. I wouldn't say, it's like that close, but it's inspired, certainly.
It definitely nails the visuals of that, and like seems to borrow heavily from a lot of the visuals of Masterpiece Sideswipe. So that's one thing where, like, stylistically, if you always liked the look but couldn't afford it, here's it in a $20 retail toy.
That some people might have been able to snag up for $9.99.
With 20% off and free shipping.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Hasbro Toy Shop.
Thank you, Hasbro Toy Shop, and your errors. Yeah. Are those your positives, Miguel?
Yeah. I don't know that I really haven't. I haven't messed with him much. The part, and also, like, I don't know. Like you guys mentioned the articulation already and everything.
Yeah.
Really isn't anything, I think, much more to add.
Okay. Well, then why don't you go ahead and give us and tell us what your negatives on this toy are?
My first negative is the fact that he only comes with one weapon that does come apart, but
Yeah.
he desperately needs, in addition to his shoulder cannon, his handheld rifle. If you're especially looking forward to the rest of this wave, there are some other characters come with multiple weapons, and in at least one case comes with like 3 accessories. Where I'm like, all right, he only came with 2.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that it's a bit nitpicky, but it's something that I wish was
Yeah, some come out with 3 accessories that all have multiple paint apps.
Yeah.
Right, and then he comes with 2 guns that are either unpainted or one of them's painted completely a different color.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I think they're unpainted. I don't think that's painted black.
Yeah, I think they're both unpainted.
Either way, it doesn't count as a paint app.
Yeah. It's not, but would it count as a color lift?
Well, it's not a color lift because a color lift is essentially a redeco for those who can't say redeco.
Hey, now.
It's true.
That was just a mere coincidence, a mere convenience that I developed a new term for something I can't have trouble saying. But yeah, yeah, I'm actually definitely on board with Miguel. I did put that in my notes. He needed another gun.
Yeah, or like at least it would have hurt a little bit less if they would have, had a little bit of paint apps on his.
Yeah.
And on his shoulder cannon. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I still would have been missing the rifle, but like it would have softened the blow at least a little bit because, like, in terms of accessories, he's like literally the worst out of the entire wave by far.
Yeah. Yeah, also they're kind of boring if you take them apart and have them be separate handheld weapons, to be fair.
Well, I would keep the black as the shoulder cannon. It's just already fired its missile, and the red is a pistol. But yeah, they're still both, I agree, very boring.
Yeah. Oh, Miguel, did you have any other negatives?
I don't quite like the shade of white plastic that he has. It's a very off-white kind of cream type of color, which out of the package, especially if you have it next to something else that's like really pure white, it kind of comes off as he's yellowed out of the package.
So like Beast Wars Tigatron.
Yeah, like Beast Wars Tigatron. Tigatron's the only one I can really think of.
I think it makes sense though, since they're supposed to be battle damaged. That if he was pure white, that'd be weird.
I guess you can kind of swing it that way. I personally still, when I looked at it, I'm like, that would be nicer if it was a bit just pure. That was one of the things that out of the package struck me. The last one, which I don't know if it's specific to my copy, or if it's part of this toy in general, is that his faction symbol's off center. I don't know if either of you two have the same thing.
How off center would it be?
Like only a couple of millimeter. I don't even know what like millimeters maybe. Oh, like to the. Let me grab them. If you're looking at them, yeah, it's a little bit off to the towards the right.
The best, I think, maybe, because I don't...
Slightly. It's hard because of the peg.
Yeah. The peg throws it off, but, I'm trying to base it off, where Sideswipe's chin lies, and it's not center with that little nub at the top of the Autobot badge.
Yeah, I think it is slightly to the right.
Yeah. It's not enough to bother me. Unless maybe now that Miguel's pointed it out, maybe it will become a bother.
It's one of those things where, from what I've seen, it's not on select copies. It seems to be on every single copy of this toy. It's off center.
So it was designed like that,
right? Which might be even more annoying to some people.
Such as Ultra Magnus from More Than Meets the Eye.
Oh, positive! I just realized right now he has a waist swivel.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, that'd go under articulation. We just forgot that.
Well, actually, that's more unique because Cog does have waist swivel. Oh,
yeah, literally every single toy in this deluxe wave does.
Everyone has it. Cog, you have to be careful because if you do it too much, you'll stress the.
Oh, I didn't even realize Skytread did because I just assumed the cockpit was going to get in the way, but no.
Nope, it's below that part.
Nice. Well, look at that, me learning new things on the show where we're reviewing toys.
Well, they all have painted rims, too. That's one thing I like. That's everyone. It's not unique to Sideswipe.
No.
Yeah, Cog has it, too.
Yeah. Anywho, Eric, your negatives.
So we already talked about the accessories. The other thing is that the tolerances on my copy, at least, are a little weird. The shin pieces, whenever tabbed into vehicle mode, are extremely hard to untab. Kind of scary. And I'm not usually scared. I don't think I'm going to break it. It's just really, really hard. And then his torso doesn't want to peg into his waist. It rests a little bit out on my copy, and it bothers me.
I have that. Mine, I think, goes into the peg fine. It just is not secure. It was secure the first time I did it, when I took them out of the packaging, but ever since, it has not been.
Mine literally pops out. You can... if you put it in and remove your finger, you watch it move. It pops back out. It will not stay in, has not once. And then the other main complaint I have is, this is a nitpick, though, because he doesn't really have a backpack. It's just his back, but I hate the silhouette of it. If the pieces on the side had been gone, it wouldn't just be this. It's a massive square. So from the back, he looks weird. If they had gotten rid of the bottom corners and just basically where there's red on his back, had they gotten rid of it, the silhouette would be a little less weird to me. But again, minor complaint. But just I think he looks horrible from the back. From the front, he looks fantastic, though, which, is what matters. Hence why I said it's a very minor thing, because I'm not going to display him from the back. But
well, if you want to color lift of this toy, you probably should get used to it, because that would probably be used for Sunstreaker. That back.
Don't think they would do a Sunstreaker out of this mold.
You don't think they try to do...
No way. There's no way they would do Sunstreaker that way.
So, whole new toy?
Oh yeah, if they do it.
But would it
yeah,
look
my
the
other
same in
negative-
vehicle mode?
Wait, what?
But would they try to do like with
I would hope so.
Berserker
Actual
Crowbar that the vehicle modes are the same? So
I would hope
my
so.
point would still stand that roof that would become his chest would probably look very similar.
No, I don't think it would look like that. Because imagine how garbage that toy would look if that's how his chest looked.
Yeah.
Plus, that wouldn't work. I think they would differentiate his. They would differentiate the alt mode if they do a Sunstreaker because they're giving them G1 robot modes, and that would not look like the G1 robot mode at all because
fair.
it's roof, and there's no roof there. So
Fair.
I think they would have to differentiate it, but I don't know. Yeah, other complaint that isn't a valid complaint at all, but he doesn't have he doesn't have a Sunstreaker to go with.
Yeah.
I've put him next to Combiner War Sunstreaker, and I'm like, this is the closest because they're the right scale, but this is not right.
Well, I saw actually from David Willis on Twitter that actually the scale between Siege Sideswipe and Universe Sunstreaker is actually an accurate scale to the original toys.
Yeah, but I don't want toy scale. You go
Fair.
by toy scale, Metroplex should be like 6 inches tall.
Fair.
But it is fair if you like that. So
Yeah. I mean, you can at least justify it.
kind of.
If they do not come out with a Sunstreaker. But they've got 3 years.
Yeah, I hope they do at some point. I would really like that.
Yeah. Or, select series.
I don't think they could get a simple repaint out of him, though.
Fair.
No, that's all we've seen
Well, I
from
mean-
Select so far.
Actually, you know what? We get a Tiger Track.
Yeah, no, I think that's actually more possible.
I mean, we did get...
What are your negatives?
No. Oh, yes, my negatives. Before I go inane rambling about what could happen in selects, which should be its own thing anyway. Anywho, my negatives, the crotch thing we discussed about. And another point of tightness, I personally feel like it's a little excessively tight getting the legs to swing into place in vehicle mode. That seems to be just me because I was talking last night with Eric about it and he was like, "You're crazy." But surely the genuine negative criticisms I have are ones that have been echoed by Miguel and Eric already. So, unless anyone has anything else to say on Sideswipe, I'll take that as
Forever hold our peace.
Yep, forever hold your peace, because now we're moving on to Cog, who is branded as WFC-S8. He transforms into an armored vehicle, as well as, technically that armored vehicle is the combined form of his 2 separate components, which in G1 were actually had different names from him, which were Gasket and Grommet. He has 2 gun accessories. I didn't actually write down what they were called because I couldn't figure out which ones were the guns that are not a physical part of his body. As well as the fact that Cog here is a weaponizer. He's the first weaponizer in the line, which means his body can break down to form weaponry for other bots. So, actually, I'm going to get started with the positives on this one. And
No fair.
I'm going to
It's my
say
favorite.
it's not my favorite.
No, I said no fair. He's my favorite.
Well, I forgot that. And I should have started you. He is your favorite. I read the list wrong. Sorry. You can go second. Anyway, my main positives on Cog are that despite the
He's
fact
amazing.
that he, even to get to vehicle mode, he is a parts former, but also on top of that, the fact that he literally pulls into parts to attach to other bots. He has very good articulation despite that. He does have shoulder movement. He's got the elbows. He's got the waist. He's got the knees. He's got the ankle tilt. He's got very good joint movements. Technically, he has a head. His head can tilt up, but then you pull some of the chest back as well. I don't think his head is on a ball joint. I think that's just a swivel.
No, it's on a swivel.
Yeah, that's just a swivel. So it is going to be the most limited head articulation out of the deluxes. But overall, it's still very good. Just again, considering what he does. And speaking of what he does, oh my goodness, is it so fun to pull him apart and give him to other bots and make crazy weapon combos for them. He's just so much fun. He's so much fun to strip apart and then just armor up the other bots. It's great. But I'll let Eric talk more about him since he's so eager to talk about him.
He is literally the best gimmick ever made for Transformers. Unless you count 5mm pegs as a gimmick, that's a feature, but I don't count that as a gimmick. Weaponizers are literally the greatest thing ever because, they're so fun. You can weaponize everyone in different ways. It's so fantastic. And the best part is, this is definitely the worst of them, and it's still really fun. Yeah. After seeing Six Gun and Brunt, there's no doubt that Brunt is probably a contender for best of the line, in my opinion.
You haven't even seen anything outside the New York Comic Con renders and displays.
Yep, but he clearly is fantastic. And Six Gun looks pretty good. I think Six Gun doesn't look as good as Brunt, but looks better than Cog.
Yeah.
On his own, Cog's, just but the gimmick is what makes him so fantastic. Also, he has two full-sized guns that are the same matching rifles, which no one else in this wave does. The closest you get to that is Skytread, but one of them's clearly a tank turret. The other's an actual gun that's good for holding. But he's the only one that has two guns that I would say are clearly meant to be two handheld guns.
Yeah.
Because Sideswipe and Hound both have shoulder cannons, which you can use as hand cannons, but...
Yeah. Well, Hound's got other guns that I give to handheld.
One is totally a shoulder cannon.
I mean, yes, one is definitely the shoulder cannon. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And
I don't argue it can be a good handgun. It just isn't intended.
Well, his other gun, I'm talking about.
Yeah, he has one.
Yeah. Oh, I accidentally counted the ammo bit as another gun.
As you say, that's not another gun.
Yeah, it attaches the gun. It's one of the three that we were talking about before. But anywho.
And I keep discovering new gun barrels literally everywhere on Cog's body the more I transform him. So
yeah,
it's fantastic.
He is a weapon heavy boy.
So that's what I would have to say is just literally his gimmick and all the unique things you can do with him he's just so fun.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh, yeah. Miguel, what do you have to say positively about Cog?
What do I have to say that hasn't already been said? Yeah, I really don't know what else there really is to say. His gimmick's really fun. He the fact that he can come apart, become all those different accessories for other characters is really good. Even I think outside of just arming up other characters, finding fun little combinations to put him in is definitely was definitely part of the initial fun when opening him up. One positive that I'll know, even though I haven't really done it myself, is if you have multiple cogs, you can then get even more crazy combinations. Plenty of people online have put up pictures of taking like 3 or 4 cogs and making a trailer for Optimus.
Yeah.
Or just like decking out a character with tons and tons of cog weapons, or like combining multiple cogs together to make like a super cog.
Mm-hmm.
So the playability with the weaponizers, I think, is going to be a lot of fun. And like Eric said, he's probably going to be the worst of them.
Yeah.
Only because he's a Wave 1 toy. Or will unfortunately get a Superion situation, and the best of the line will come out in the first wave.
I highly doubt that, because Brunt.
Yeah.
Also, another positive I just noticed is battle damage.
Yeah.
Because he like has a little bit on the inside of his lower legs, towards his knee, just a teensy bit of speckage on each side, on each leg.
Yeah.
And then basically his forearms have just a little bit, and it's not bad at all. It's just little silver specks that honestly you could miss.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
He's the lightest. He has even less than Skytread does, which a lot of people didn't think Skytread had it at first. Although I will say Skytread's is a lot more clever.
Yeah. And more purposeful.
Yes, his is definitely the most purposeful and clever out of all of them, but we'll save that.
Yeah. But yeah. But we've talked about the positives of COG, so now on to the negatives of COG. Eric, how's about you start with the negatives?
He can't hold his darn guns very well in his hands, at least on mine. And you can't put them in upside down because they molded it so that the bottom is 4mm, which is a little weird.
Oh.
Yeah. Try putting in his rifles up like on the bottom of his hands. It will not work. If it does work, you might break it.
I'm very surprised about that. Oh wait, no, I got him.
What?
You see that?
Pull it out and show me that there isn't a stress mark. Oh, wait. Okay, I just got one of mine. I think it won't do it on one hand.
It's definitely tighter.
Yeah.
Because the top is loose.
Yeah, the top is very loose, which is my main complaint.
But I'm not seeing stress.
Oh, other complaint, which it's hard to complain when they painted the bottom of the feet. They didn't paint the inside of the tank treads, which I feel like could have been useful or nicely used. And then the other thing is the connection between the two separate alt modes that form like his actual main alt mode that is the combined one. That's really weak, the tab, at least on mine. The tab between the two little things that tab in to make the one, it is like incredibly weak. You can just poke it and it'll fall apart. So yeah, but not anything remotely terrible. And just other than that, like on his own without the weaponizer function, he's just like really boring. He's a cool looking robot, but like transform him, it's just like literally he lays down and you put his arms on top.
Yeah. How exciting.
Yeah, really.
Miguel, what are your negatives for COG?
Loose ports on his hands and some of the other spots definitely is one. The fact that his legs don't really want to stay in to his I guess his thighs, like where you plug in his legs, they don't like to stay in at all.
Yeah. The noise you heard was my COG just dropping one of his legs just because I was holding him in midair.
And then one thing is and I guess it is just tolerances all around. In the combined vehicle mode for when you because you can turn his two halves that he kind of turns into the respective gasket and grommet, and then you can combine them into like a bigger like tank.
Yeah.
That is only held together by a tab into a slot, and it's not a secure connection.
You weren't paying attention, were you?
Why? Did you say the exact same thing?
He basically said literally everything.
I said that exact same thing.
No, I wasn't paying attention.
Did you unlock the next Smash Bros. Character yet?
Well, no, I had my Switch is off. I don't even know. I think I was staring at my cog along with Starscream Super Mode. Actually, where's my other cog? Oh, there it is.
Wait, you have cogs?
I have two. I
know.
Well, no, I currently have 3 cogs in my possession.
Oh, never mind.
You had 2 because there was the sale, and you were like, "Hey, why not?"
Well, yeah, because in the end, I think. Well, how'd it go? Right. Initially, I think I was doing different combinations, and I think at one point it was cheaper to have more. It was cheaper to buy more deluxes than it was to have less of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like whatever I was like going back and forth on. It was like buying 4 deluxes from HTS was cheaper than buying however many I think I was get 2, and then in the end I was like, actually, like with whatever combination of stuff, it was like, oh, it's cheaper actually to get 4 of them, which was still like that sale was amazing. So yeah, I have two cogs, and then Sideswipe and Hound.
Very nice.
Makes up this whole lead.
Yeah. Yeah. As for my negatives, well, I mean, Eric said pretty much everything. So, yeah. But definitely the biggest thing I would have to say about Cog is while his weaponizer gimmick is amazing and so much fun, he's pretty bland by himself. And that's the biggest criticism I can give to that toy. So, unless anyone else has... So, if anyone has anything else to say about Cog...
Oh, he's pretty good color match to Fort Max.
Ooh,
they match the blue up pretty well.
I have not done that yet. I'll have to do that at some point.
Yeah, I think the blue goes together pretty well, so I just wanted to point that out there.
Nice. Very good. So then let us move on to Hound, who is WFC-S9 in the line. His alternate mode is a Cybertronian Jeep, and his accessories include the Refraction Blaster, Electroscope Launcher, as well as an ammo clip. Miguel, why don't you go first?
First off, for Hound, his paint apps are really nice.
Very.
He has a ton of paint apps between his headlights and his taillights. His rims are painted. The front grille of his vehicle mode's painted. His arms have little there's copper detailing all over his body. The stars on his shoulders are painted, and also to the point of where the little nubs for the blast effects, those are also painted to continue the pattern.
For the stars.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he has so much paint. It's one of those things where you look at him and you're like, all right, now we see what happened to Sideswipe. It's Hound got his paint.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's got great articulation between ankle tilt, toe bend, wrist swivels, the whole shebang, the waist joint. Really, really nice. And then his accessory count, the fact that he comes with 3 different accessories, which is the max, I think, in this wave.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Someone else has 2.
Well, aside from Cog, who can be...
That's not accessories.
Yeah, 2 of them are accessories. Everything else is just his body.
But, Hound, and also just the fact that he like this is kind of going over, but at this point he's a solid toy. Like, I picked up Universe Hound recently, and I just opened this actually, and I've been messing with it, and it's just one of those things where he's really solid. Like 10 years later, and boom, they made a better Hound. We don't talk about Combiner Wars Hound.
Yeah, we basically just don't talk about the Combiner Wars version of any character that wasn't an actual combiner in that line, except for Skylinks, I feel.
That seems to be the case.
So I'm not wrong. Because those were just like a bunch of cheap, easy repaints.
Although I do like Combiner Wars Hound because he's based off of the best mold in Combiner Wars. But
yeah, like out of all of them, I think the Hound one works the best. But overall, I had even though I was missing a bunch of those characters from my generation self, I had no strong desire to get any of them. But I am very glad to have this Hound for my generation's shelf.
He's got 5mm ports under his feet. What?
Right?
All of them do.
All of them do, so as you can combine take Cog's legs and put them underneath there for his boots.
I just want to stick blast effects in there and have him fly.
Fly like an eagle to the sea. I don't know why I thought of that song when you said fly. But I mean, yeah, you definitely can. You can do that with like all of them. But still, it's awesome. Any other positives from you, Miguel?
I think that's it.
Okay.
I think I'm good.
Oh yeah. I will echo Miguel's statements of the posability is just phenomenal on this figure. And I also must say, I love that leg transformation. I know it's sort of borrowed from Cup, but gosh darn, that leg transformation, the collapsing, it really works.
No, I think this is my favorite type of transformation. Just like very much in the same way that the Primar ID Viacon transforms, where it's basically like, all right, so it's just step one, accordion out most of the vehicle mode from the legs. Step two, fold some stuff over. Step three, clip it all together. Boom, you have a vehicle.
Yeah. And it doesn't even feel like it's a shell former at all.
Like,
well, because it's not.
Yeah.
There's a difference between, as you say, there's a difference.
There's definitely a difference, but like, because I mean, yeah, most of that is integrated into the legs, but still. Who was discussing, I just want to go back to this really quick. Who was saying that punch counter punch was a shell former because of how his legs worked in that review?
I have no idea what you're talking about, and they are wrong.
It was during our last episode with the Prime Wars Deluxe, the Prime Wars Trilogy Deluxes. Someone was saying like they were a shell former, and I'm like, no, that's not. No, I think
I could see what they're saying because of the way there's the fake card chest and that comes out, but still, no, I don't think so.
I think it was Chris.
Probably.
I feel like it was Chris. But yeah. Anywho, back to Hound. Yeah, he's great. He's really good. He's really good. He's good. He's very good. Eric, you go ahead.
The ammo barrel that attaches the gun, awesome. That is like best part yet. And then again, he's the only one with wrist swivels, so shout out. Good job. He also has toe articulation, the only one with toe articulation. Again, good job. He's definitely the best toy out of the four of them, objectively.
Skytread's kind of got a toe bend.
Not the same. He is a toe bend the other way. Skytread has like ankle tilt forward, not a toe bend.
Yeah.
Hound has an actual toe bend because
Yeah.
he can bend his toe back while like up, so you can put him in like walking forward poses.
Oh yeah, that's right. But that's
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there's a difference between ankle tilt like forward and back versus toe bend.
Yeah. I thought that didn't work in this form. I thought that was just for the transformation.
No, I was gonna say it works in robot mode.
It's a little hard because it's not a lot because he's just got such big legs.
But it's still there.
Yeah, it's still there. You're not wrong.
Shoulder cannon's all nice. So much paint. Yeah, paint. Yeah, I personally do love his alt mode as well. It's quite fantastic. It's kind of hard to criticize this toy, but
since you got the thread going, you go ahead with what's your negatives.
His arms underneath his vehicle mode are a little lazy in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just don't like how it's just there. The ammo barrel doesn't tab into my gun as firmly as it did whenever I first bought him, so I'm worried that's just going to stop fitting in there as well, but I don't know. And overall, I don't know. That's pretty much my only negatives on him, other than sometimes the legs will pop apart whenever I'm transforming him.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly, I think it's the left one. That on my copy, one of the joints is a little loose, and it'll do that. So,
yeah,
that's my negatives.
Okay. As for me, this isn't like a strong negative problem with him. It's just that's odd. He's got the material that makes up his backpack is is a different plastic and feels weaker to me than the plastics that are used throughout the rest of the deluxes, which is, again, not necessarily a bad thing. I'm just that's different. That's slightly odd just because of how sturdy all of the figures have been. I'm just that doesn't feel as strong. That's a minor nitpick for me. And the only other thing I can really say negatively about this guy is how the heck is that his alternate mode not an Earth Jeep? Seriously, how? It's an Earth Jeep. There's no way that's from Cybertron.
No, it's got a hole in it. It's not from Earth.
It's got a hole in it? Where?
The roof. He's on a roof.
Well, Jeeps don't have roofs on Earth. Don't need to.
He's got... that's true. Darn it.
You have no argument.
He's got a really tiny windscreen. That's I don't know. I can't justify. Yeah, no, it's an Earth Jeep.
I mean, Eric did say at some point that he likes the aesthetic for the Siege figures a lot better if you consider them to be futuristic Earth vehicles as opposed to Cybertronian vehicles. Probably because we do have in our minds a stronger difference of design from Earth forms as we've had. As of the minimal tastes we've had of Cybertronian designs from More Than Meets the Eye, the first episode of the original Transformers cartoon, or the War for Cybertron video games, or some of the More Than Meets the Eye Lost Light RD, XRD designs. The ones that were more set on Cybertron and in outer space are definitely more Cybertronian than anything we're getting out of Siege at the moment. But yeah, Miguel, what are your negatives for Hound?
The hole in his roof. Don't like it.
You don't like it?
Don't like the hole in his roof. I don't know why. the backpack, which becomes the roof, or not roof, but like
The top.
a majority of his vehicle mode, I agree, it does feel like the type of plastic they use doesn't feel that quite right. And then another thing that I have a problem with is the fact that the hinge that his backpack is on is assembled using clear plastic, and that's just a real
no. Oh no.
Yeah, so be careful with that.
Why? You monsters.
The other thing I don't really care for, and is with all his articulation, one of the things that's hindering is the fact that his head's on kind of like this like panel type thing, and it prevents, because he has what it seems to be a ball jointed head.
Yeah.
And he can't look up because of that door.
It's not the door getting in the way.
Are you sure?
Well, it's the hinge that the door sits on. It's not the door itself, technically. Because you can move the door back.
You can.
I saw someone on Twitter being like, "Oh, you can't rotate his head because the door's in the way," and then you just got to give it a little extra force to move it back. But you're right, technically, that the door gets in the way of him really looking.
Well, actually, no, the door doesn't get in the way. His head's just bad.
Yeah.
He can't look up.
Yeah. I thought, is it not hitting off the hinge, or is it actually getting stuck before then?
No, because you can push it back, and then, like, his head just can't go up.
Huh.
Don't push too hard, you might break it.
Yeah, I would not.
Not the general you of the public, the you of, like, you.
Hey, the only head I snapped was on a toy whose head was stuck, and I broke it to allow him to rotate his head. You were there for that. It was Beachcomber. Miguel?
I was there.
Yeah, okay.
You were right.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you went quiet for a moment. I don't know if that was Skype messing up me or
no, that was me, just like zoning.
I've noticed you have a tendency to do that. So if you go quiet for a little bit, then come back, you've just zoned, as opposed to...
It happens more when we're recording than it happens when we're not recording, which is really bad.
Yeah.
To listeners out there, I am very quick with stuff when we're off, not sort of off mic, but just not recording. Oh, off mic, I'm even worse. Or better, I don't know. I can't stop talking when we're off mic. Flashbacks to TFCon. But yeah, those are really the only things. Like, Hound, honestly, is like, I might have to re-rank my.
Yeah, I was going to ask because I know you put him at the bottom purely because you hadn't opened him when I asked yesterday.
No, you asked yesterday you asked everyone. Okay, so give us your rankings, and I was just like, I haven't opened Hound, so I just have to put him at the bottom. But
So yeah, let me know because it could definitely matter.
I'm putting him at the top. Whatever. Just bump everyone down one, and then put him at the top.
Oh, you got to make me do a lot of work. Okay. So give me a moment for that.
So SoundJack here is retabulating our to see who ends up being the crowning winner. The overall winner of Siege Wave 1 for us here at Nerdy Geek Talk. Let us know either in the comments below or on Twitter, either tweeting at Steel City Bots, at Nerdy Geek Talk, or even any of us respectively, what your thoughts are of Siege Wave 1, if you have it. And if not, just tweeted us complaining about the fact that you can't find them yet.
Yep.
By all means, they will hit saturation in due time, at the moment, at the time of this recording, they've only appeared at Targets in the US.
Yeah.
And then the brief moment that they were up on Hasbro Toy Shop for $9.99 with a 20% off coupon, which I saw, didn't believe, went and bought them, and then I shared it with the group, and then I tweeted about it.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Optimus Fan on TFW 2005 for putting that in the deals and coupons thread, which, if you are on TFW, do yourself a favor and bookmark that, have notifications set on it. Like, that thread has saved me time and time again so much money.
Good to know. Good to know. I was going to say something based off something you said, and now I forget what it was.
Okay, well, we'll fix it in post. Boom. All right.
Yeah. Anywho. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the list has been, in fact, retabulated. And that impacted a fair more than I was expecting. I must say.
Still has the deluxes listed at $9.99. There's a chance when these come back in stock, they will still be $9.99.
Ooh. If that happens, second cogs, people.
If that happens for Wave 2, just keep going.
You're right. They might never catch it.
Turn the clock back a decade and just have you $9.99 deluxes. Any of you out there weren't around when deluxes were $10 MSRP.
Yeah.
There was a time where Walmart had them on perpetual rollback for less than
wait,
$10. It was great.
Miguel, you said a thing and it reminded me of what I wanted to respond to you with.
Okay, go.
About the Siege not hitting saturation yet, and that seems to be clearly that both Walmart and Target are still stocking Power of the Primes and having them be specific spots on the shelf, even though at this point they should probably start clearancing them off. And it seems like they have not done that yet. And especially with Walmart's very limited space that they are giving to Transformers, since they don't carry anything larger than deluxes anymore at some Walmarts, they just don't have the room for that. And the only reason as far as I know from my Target, the only reason that they have anything Siege out is that the Transformers aisle has an aisle with one of those larger end cap things, and that some of that end cap is the Siege stuff, and that's only the Battle Masters, Micromasters, and Deluxes.
Right.
No Voyagers in sight.
Nope.
Leaders aren't expected out until January, so that's fine.
Right. So I would probably expect saturation to probably happen within a month from now.
Yeah.
Definitely, and then hopefully that coincides with maybe a reset at Walmart to give more retail space to Transformers. Especially given some of the more recent happenings, what is it? Hasbro and Walmart are apparently partnering up now.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then hopefully that means that Walmart will start carrying stuff again, just because not so much as I love shopping at Walmart, but Toys R Us being gone, there's kind of a vacancy, and I'd like for that to be filled up with something.
I would have preferred it at Target because I can employee discount.
I mean, Target gets the toy. It's more having more options, more variety, especially around here where Walmart and Target are pretty much my only options.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not in an area where I have a Meijer or for whatever reason, that reminded me. I forgot to check. A little, while we're on the topic of retail, if any of you out there still are searching for a prime robots in disguise, rather, Crash Combiner Saberclaw. Those have been recently spotted at TJ Maxx. So hit up your discount retailers to pick up the final wave of the Crash Combiners. Yeah. I promised Eric I would go do that, and I didn't.
Well, good thing he's not here to hear you say that at the moment.
I mean, he can. This is being recorded.
Yeah, it is. But will he listen back to it?
I mean, he also, he said he'd be back in a minute. It's been 13.
It has. Has it been 13?
In 13 minutes, you liar.
Has it been 13? Have we been inanely rambling for 13 minutes?
I think part of that we were. Oh wait,
I and you were talking a little bit about our negatives on Hound, and then we just went off into several tangents. Took you long enough, Eric.
Oh hey, I had you muted. I couldn't hear what you were saying at first until you started talking about negatives of Hound. So I was just like, oh, wait, you still haven't gotten to Skytread?
No. We just kind of went off on a bunch of tangents.
Well, I thought we were done.
No.
What were your tangents?
Mostly about the sale at Hasbro Toy Shop and well, it started off because Miguel was talking and he reorganized his listings, and then we just went off tangents from there.
I was filling the dead air with just talk about, well, one, passing it off to the listenership of, hey, let us know what your thoughts are of the deluxes and everything. Yeah. Like, hit us up on social media or drop comments on YouTube, and then we kind of went off on just the availability of Wave 1 deluxes and stuff.
But speaking of the Wave 1 deluxes, we should talk about the last one, Skytread.
I was just going to say,
forcing us to get back on track here. The last one is the only Decepticon in the Wave, WFC-S10, Skytread, who transforms into both a tank and a jet at the same time. Not a triple changer. He is both a jank. He is a jank.
Yeah, that's accurate. He is a jank.
He is a jank.
Especially Eric copy.
Or is he a tet?
Nope, he's a jank.
Yeah. After I said that, I'm like, yeah, jank's better. Anywho, his weapons names are the Electron Breacher and the Laser Launcher. One of them is just his tank turret. For positives, we'll start with Miguel again.
Trying to. You can swap pants with Battle Slash in order to make Battle Wheels and Fly Trap.
Yeah. Or Battle Tread and Sky Wheels, depending on how you want to do it.
Right, depending on your preference.
Yeah.
No, he definitely.
Or Skytrap, you mean?
What?
Skytrap. He said Sky Wheels.
Oh, yeah, Skytrap and Battle Tread.
Yeah. Anywho, sorry for cutting you off, Miguel.
What was I saying? Well, like all the rest of the deluxes from Wave 1, his articulation's really good. And then just additionally, I don't know, he's just really fun, like a very playable toy, like in terms of just posing him and even just like converting him into his separate vehicle modes, and combining them into the main robot mode. He's just a nice package, given the fact that he's like within one deluxe price point. You get two vehicles, his weapons, and everything, and he's fun. He's fun to mess around with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All fair points.
Very true. As for my positives, well, you made the one point of yes, he's compatible with Battle Trap, which is very nice.
Wait. Really quick. Do your guys have a gold paint app on both forearms?
Yes.
Mine only has it on his left forearm.
Oh.
It's not on the right forearm.
Oh.
I know you probably can't see it because of the lighting.
Yeah, the lighting is. I can tell. Yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah, not there.
Yeah.
There.
Oh yeah.
Quite obvious.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Well, if they come back into stock at Hasbro Toy Shop, maybe you can grab another for $9.99.
Yeah, really.
And then, yeah, actually, just quick side tangent, because I've thought of this. Who do you think? Do you think it would be a good idea to take the jet half of Skytread here, combine it with the car half of Battle Trap, and customize it into Oil Master from the BotCon toy?
Oh.
Since his inner Pretender parts were
Yeah. No,
a car and a jet, and he's a double Pretender.
I really like that idea. I think we should tweet at someone who I know will do that if we tell them.
Yeah.
I think the true thing to do is you take the jet half of Skytread, you then grab Leader Overlord's tank. You make him wear the giant pants, and then you recolor the tank into the same color as Skytread, and then he's just like big boy pants. Oh wait! Oh no! What you do is you throw away Siege Skytread. You get the Titan Master. You go grab an Overlord from Ollie.
I knew where you were going with that.
Yep.
Oh my gosh! Why have I not seen that?
I mean, you're not wrong.
I'm surprised no one tried that whenever it came out. Like, no one. I didn't see a single custom.
You're not
I've never
wrong.
seen a custom. That
actually surprises me now that you say that. Actually, yeah.
If someone made a custom,
bonus.
tweet at us. If someone actually did that custom, tweet at us.
Another bonus or another positive of Skytread is that you can remove his head and then stick the Titan Master in.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
The ball joint of his head.
Have you done it?
I've seen it.
Have you done it?
I was gonna say I want to hear about how someone did it before I try to do it and maybe break it.
I mean, I didn't read about it. I wouldn't try.
Okay, I just took mine off, so that wasn't hard. And I think I have the Titan Master sitting somewhere nearby, but I'll try that in a little bit.
Apparently, the Titan Master heads are 3mm, and that's the same. I think it's 3mm. It's the same. Apparently,
it's more than 3. I think they're like 5mm, but like square, so they're not. They don't fit into hands. That's why they don't fit into hands. They're too big, aren't they? Could be wrong. I found his Titan Master vehicle, but not the head.
I mean, you just grab another one, or I think Michael can eat it.
It does not want to fit.
All right, I would stop before.
Yeah, does not want to fit. Also, like the color matching is atrocious.
Oh no, it is. It's really bad.
So there's no point. There's absolutely none point.
All right, don't listen to what I said. I'm full of lies.
You are, but it was surprisingly easy to get the head out. Now to get it back in is the question.
Yeah, I know. I did the same thing. I like popped it out. If you pop it out backwards, it's like just super easy.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? It doesn't want to. I just got that in super easy.
I mean, I'm concerned because of my history.
Oh no! I don't blame you for not.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
And honestly, with some with some paint, I would totally do that just to have like the multiple gimmicks on one toy. But like you have the option. Yeah. I really love that you have the option. Thanks, Miguel.
Oh, did you get the head to fit on for you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't do it for me. Again, probably because I was scared. With my luck.
I feel like Eric's blown away right now.
Yeah.
While
he's blown away, I do want to mention I'm really impressed that they gave him a lot of panels to cover up the gaps in his chest to make him have a complete chest.
Oh yeah.
Which is definitely not a thing you see on deluxe figures at all. Ever.
I'm really mad that I noticed this paint app though. Why did you should have lied to me and just said that you had only one so I wouldn't be sad.
Well, too bad. That's what you get for getting it at such a ridiculously low price.
So did you.
I know. I know.
Yeah, I hope you break your head. The Skytread head, not your head. Please don't break your head. I'd feel very bad.
Yeah.
I'd also feel bad if you break your Skytread head, actually. But is that all your positives?
Yeah, because Miguel got my other one of the compatibility.
So I was going to say that the paint is also really, really good on him because he could use a little bit more in robot mode, but looking especially at the jet mode, there's a lot of gold accents. So they did a pretty good job in terms of painting him up. I think it's not as obvious at first because his robot mode is so dominantly, brown and maroon. But yeah. I also really, really, really dig that they have molded in weaponry. He has fist guns. I love, 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 love whenever they mold in guns onto the forearms or the fists on toys. I'm a sucker. I don't care how good or bad the toy is. If it has that, I like it. And this has that. It also has molded in guns on the end of the wings for jet mode. So basically his upper half has molded in weaponry I like. Bottom half doesn't. But
yeah.
Yeah. Also, my last positive is that I see what they did with the battle damage, and I actually like it. They did it only on the tank because that's on the ground, so that's why it's dirty. The jet is in the air, and hence does not have a speck on it.
Yep.
I dig that. I appreciate that little attention to detail. Oh, also, he has a more than 90-degree bend elbow. He's a pretty deep elbow, so just wanted to put that out there, too.
Oh, yeah.
This is new name. Deep elbow.
Deep elbow.
When Hasbro eventually loses the trademark for Skytread, they'll go with Deep Elbow. You're welcome. Negatives. I'll start with the negatives. Well, I do very like the panels.
A lot of things.
I do very much like the panels to fill out his chest.
Very like.
He's trying to keep going.
Me very good with word, yes. Me master language of English. But the panels that fill out his chest in robot mode end up on the underside of the jet mode, and then there's a lot of under jet kibble on such a small jet, and it's bad. The jet itself from other angles looks good. It's the kibble that's just bad. It's bad.
Oh, wait, really quick before you move on, I just wanted to point out something that I just now counted. Because I was looking at how many paint apps he has on his accessories. He has 6 paint apps total on his accessories. 4 on the tank turret, 2 on the other gun. Cog has 0 paint accessories on his 0 paint apps on his accessories. Sideswipe also has 0 paint apps on his accessories. Hound has 9.
Oh wow!
3 on his shoulder cannon, 2 on the gun, 4 on the ammo thing for the gun, the ammo drum. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Anywho, and then the other big complaint is, while yes, it is very good that we got a Skytread to go with the Battle Trap from Power of the Primes, it's unfortunate that they don't mesh perfectly, because Battle Trap had to also accommodate the individual components being robots, so design changes were made and he was slimmed down a bit, while Skytread definitely rolls with Siege's G1 proportions a lot. Is a bit
which you
blockier,
know, a lot of the justification I've seen people saying for him not having the individual robot modes was because he's a deluxe. But you know what I just realized?
What?
It's the same price point.
Yeah, it is. It would be $20 either way.
Yeah, $20, whether it's $10 a piece or $20 a whole. So that's bull. But we did get more paint apps and accessories and stuff. Yeah. So you know what? I can't complain too much. But yeah.
Yeah, and I'm only mostly annoyed by it because, again, they're not completely cohesive. I wouldn't mind if they made Battle Trap just 2 vehicles or gave Skytread 2 robots just so it was more consistent between the two of them.
Yeah, that they matched.
Yeah. I mean, at
least they're compatible, though.
I'm not going to... Yeah, they're compatible, which is very good. I'm not going to really display Battle Trap separately. But...
it's still an option.
Yeah, it's still an option, which Skytread does not have. Except for vehicle mode displays. But who has space for vehicle mode displays, am I right? Yeah. Miguel, negatives.
I forget if it's his... I think it's his tank. His tank component doesn't really peg in all the way, like peg together that well.
Yeah.
In vehicle mode.
Yeah.
That's definitely a major complaint, I suppose, for him. And honestly, that's really all I can think of.
Are his shins painted plastic?
No.
They're different plastic than the feet. They're matte. The feet are gloss.
Oh.
I don't think they're painted plastic, though. I think he has 2 types of brown plastic on him.
Yeah, it feels different. The shin plastic does feel different from the other plastic.
I think it's also on the hips and the thighs.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
Just an observation.
Yeah. Eric, negatives.
So I just want to point out that, like, yes, the alt modes have problems, but, like, contrary to what our co-host on Steel City Bots _Zeus would say, the jet's worse than the tank, definitively, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The tank isn't great by any means, but it's perfectly suitable.
It's serviceable. Yeah.
Yeah, but the jet is like, no, look at all the garbage underneath, and like, you know what, I'm fine with it, but just if you're gonna complain about the alt modes, you just gotta be realistic about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now the tank has its fair share of problems because the turret barely stays in, and it stressed the port it was in.
Yeah, I did have the stressed port, but like it looks like the barrel itself is shaped to fit around the crotch, but not correctly enough that it will fit incorrectly, and it at the very least forces the barrel to face downward. Yeah, if they extended the peg.
If they had extended the peg, then that molding would be correct.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not correct for how deep the peg is, so yeah, problem. Yeah. Other than the stuff you guys mentioned already, I think that's all I can really think of. Yeah. Oh, no. Also, the crotch keeps falling off of mine.
I do not have that problem.
I've heard about, because I've heard that it's happened to some people, but not everyone. Like, I think it's not the majority, but it's still a decent amount of people. The crotch piece on mine, it literally flies off.
The complaint I had heard about molding in that area was that, like, one of the hips would be fused.
Oh, no. I've never heard that. I just know Diecast Radio Free Cybertron talked about it, and all his co-hosts were like, what are you talking about? Mine doesn't do that. You're crazy. Yeah. And then mine does that.
I saw it on Twitter. I want to say it was at Wasp Shot.
Oh, okay.
Whose flywheels had a fused leg. I think it was him. It was definitely one of the British blokes I follow. I'm pretty sure it was him. He was trying some tricks. But anywho, that's wave 1. And to wrap this all up, is time for the Nerdy Geek Talk final tally. Going in order for hosts. My rankings for these are Hound is first, Sideswipe second, Cog third, and Skytread fourth. Eric ranks Cog as number 1, places Sideswipe second, Hound is third, and also ranks Skytread as fourth.
It was really, really hard too.
Yeah.
Just want to put that out there, that ranking all 4 of these, like, no matter what you put as the worst, could easily be the best in, like, another line.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Very true. Just because they're at the bottom of the list does not mean that they are bad. They are all very good. It's just the other ones happen to be better. Miguel, before he changed it, he had Skytread at number 1. But with his opening and playing with Hound, he put Hound at 1, moved Skytread down to 2, Sideswipe to 3, and Cog to 4th. Out of the co-hosts of the Steel City Bots hosts that are not here, Chris puts Cog at number 1, Hound second, Sideswipe 3rd, and Skytread 4th, though, however, we shall note that she does not own any of the figures from the line as of yet. Zeus has Hound first, Skytread second, Cog 3rd, and Sideswipe in dead last. And Jared puts Sideswipe first, Hound second, Skytread 3rd, and Cog 4th. And with that, the final tally means that Hound is the clear winner here. Sideswipe at 15, at second place with 15 total points. Hound had 12 total points. Cog at 16 total points. And Skytread at 19 total points. Before Miguel came in, Hound, Sideswipe, Cog were all 1 point away. I also had switched my points before the show started because I had put Sideswipe up first and then Hound second because I'd been flip-flopping on them, but after going over them for the notes, I was like, Hound does deserve the top spot. So what had happened was Sideswipe was ahead by 1 point, and then Hound and Cog were both following by a point, and then Skytread just ended up dead last. I honestly completely agree with our ranking, even though that's not my ranking. Yeah, that is how I would rank them in terms of actually like the best / what I would recommend. I just have Cog because of personal enjoyment. Yeah, and just literally like all the ingredients for Hound do make him the best toy. Just for some reason, I like Cog and Sideswipe more than him. Yeah, but I will admit, like I have no actual reason for that. Yeah. And originally I had thought out in my head, oh, hey, this is a very interesting episode since all of the numbers are very close. And this is one of those instances where every single figure at least was given first, despite the fact that there's 4 of them. But then Miguel changed his ranking and Skytread lost his only person who actually liked him the most out of all the figures. So thanks a lot, Miguel. So while at the end, I didn't
betray him; he betrayed me.
Yeah, Skytread betrayed you. I thought Hound assassinated Skytread for you because
Hound's a pacifist.
Fine.
Unless what's his name is pretending to be Hound. This could actually be
a makeshift. Could be.
Yeah, this could be a makeshift figure for all we know.
True. If you've read the Aligned novels, you'll get the joke.
Or literally just one of them, which it's the second one, isn't it? Yeah. That's the only one he's in.
Yeah. But anywho, regardless, it does seem from I was going to say at the very least, Hound, Sideswipe, Cog could very well be, before the rankings changed, that could very well be very easy picks, even though one of them was at the top. Though now with the new rankings, Hound seems to be a much more clear winner. However, Sideswipe and Cog are still both very good recommendations if you can only pick up one from the line. If you can only pick up one from the line, probably not Cog, though, since you need at least another figure for him to play with.
Yeah, I would just say, honestly, pick the one that you want.
Yes.
They're all really good, so, like, Hound is the best toy out of them, but they're all so close that just pick the one you want, you'll probably be the most happy.
Yeah, truly. This is one of those times where the
all the choices are good.
Yes.
Like, sometimes there might be a character that you're, like, in a wave where it's like, I really want that character, but they're the crappiest out of all of them.
Yeah.
This is not one of those cases.
No. This is a very solid wave. And if this is how Siege starts out, I cannot wait to see the War for Cybertron trilogy itself starts out. I cannot wait to see how good everything else is.
The War for Cybertron.
Shut up. Anywho, thank you for tuning in to this episode. If you want to check out this podcast as well as all other podcasts on the Nerdy Geek Talk Network, you can follow us at YouTube, and you can also follow us at our various podcast places, which at the very least include Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, and Google Play. Though, as Eric has pointed out in the past couple of Steel City Bots episodes, apparently there are more.
They go to places I don't even know of.
Yeah, there's more than that. So basically, the places that you'd listen to podcasts, you'll probably find us there. And let us know if you do, because maybe then we'll figure out that those places exist.
Like Podcast Addict, which I had never even heard of before, and still don't know what it is. You know what? I'm going to look that up now.
Yeah.
It's an app.
Yeah, it's now.
I use it.
What, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, I've literally never heard of it. Oh, you know what? The logo looks a little familiar.
It's an app, and it can look up both on Google Play and on iTunes
Okay.
libraries for podcasts. That's what I
Interesting.
would use, because at the time that I started, I got an Android phone.
Yeah.
Most
I'm
of the
going to cut
podcasts
you
I
off,
listen
Miguel,
to-
because I have 3 minutes before my internet dies. So
Fine.
Yeah, fair.
I'm going to wrap this up. So check out the podcast there. You can also check Nerdy Geek Talk on Twitter, and you'll be updated whenever a new podcast comes out if you follow us there. As for us, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at SoundJack426. YouTube channel features Transformers toy reviews, as well as my own podcast, SoundJack's Rambles. I'm talking about different nerdy things. My Instagram is where I take photos of my toys, and my Twitter is where I hang out, so come on by and say hi. Miguel, where can people find you?
People can find me on Twitter at Lois Minor, where I'm currently, just asking people, hey, if you have Smash and you have a Switch, which you should if you have Smash, hit me up.
Yeah.
My friend goes up there. Let's play.
Yeah,
You should tweet about Podcast Addict.
you should. And Eric,
Now I want to know what you're going to say.
Where can people find you?
Just like you, I also have Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, but none of them are the same because I'm not easy. YouTube's the easiest. I've been thinking about changing them because I realized that.
Yeah.
YouTube is Eric Crownover, literally my name. I'm posting stuff. Just go look at it. I'm actually posting stuff now, so it's nice. At Eric Crowbar on Twitter, that's where I am most of the time. Tweet at me. You'll get a response like that, unless I'm doing stuff, because I actually do have a life, believe it or not. I swear I do. And then Instagram at Aramis Prime, where you can find photos of stuff.
Yeah.
Eric, check Twitter.
And that is all from us tonight. So I gotta wrap this up. I've got like 2 minutes, or I'm screwed.
It's the final countdown.
So thank you all for tuning in to this episode of Nerdy Talk Reviews. And until next time, bye.
See ya.
All right.